Then she started work on another Disney remake, Herbie Fully Loaded, a comedy directed by Angela Robinson about a vintage Volkswagen Beetle with a mind of its own.
I trust Disney with remakes. I thought it was a great role for me. It's a coming-of-age part in a way. My character graduates from college, so it's nice for my fans to kind of grow with me. And it's empowering for women to be involved in a male-dominated sport.
Lohan's Herbie Fully Loaded character becomes a NASCAR race driver, but in reality, Lindsay wasn't too familiar with NASCAR.
I was completely oblivious to how popular it was and what a huge, it's a cult in a way. It really is. I mean, 250,000 people at a race? That's insane.
The NASCAR sequence at the end, we shot at an actual race, NASCAR race at the California Speedway. There were about 20 cameras there. They let us put Herbie out on the track, but it was a lot of different teams and people to make that happen.
Besides the cars, Lindsay had other reasons for liking Herbie Fully Loaded.
It has the romantic part of it with me and Justin Long. And then it has the NASCAR part of it, which is the action part, which is cool. And then there's also the good messages that have been sent and the good father-daughter relationships. And it's nice to have that all combined in one and be a part of it and send that out to people. I want to buy Herbie back.
While filming Herbie Fully Loaded, Lindsay was hospitalized with a high fever. 1 month before the movie's release, Lohan's father was sentenced to prison for assault and drunk driving. Lindsay maintained a brave face and was all smiles at the Herbie Fully Loaded premiere.
This is insane, and it's an honor and a huge, amazing thrill to be a part of, and I couldn't be happier.
Herbie drew audiences. Lindsay was busy. She had 3 releases in 2006. Just My Luck is a romantic comedy and a starring role for Lohan. She plays a lucky woman whose life changes after an encounter with a down-and-out young man, Chris Pine.
Hands up and action!
I find it, people laugh more when they see someone just kind of walk into a wall and that sort of thing. It's easier. You don't have to worry about the dry humor and the jokes as much. And it's always fun to kind of knock yourself around on set.
Just My Luck filmed on location in New York.
Taxi! It's such a huge production when you're shooting in cities such as New York, and even we were in New Orleans too. It's hard. I mean, then you get like big crowds around, and he had his pants when your pants fell off. I don't know if I would have been so nervous doing that.
It was freezing.
Just My Luck wasn't a winning ticket for Lindsay, who earned $7.5 million for the role. The movie bombed.
It was not an acting stretch for her at all. It didn't have the smart writing that Tina Fey was able to bring to a Mean Girls. It missed on those levels. The creative people behind it just weren't quite there. And so I don't think it served Lindsay Lohan well. It looked so much like what they call a vehicle to make her a bigger star, and instead was sort of wiped off the map after a couple of weeks in theaters.
After a starring role, Lindsay chose to be part of ensemble cast for her next 2 films. For a Prairie Home Companion, she worked with director Robert Altman and plays Meryl Streep's daughter in this fictionalized account about the final broadcast of the Prairie Home Companion radio program. Lohan looked forward to the experience.
Robert Altman's fantastic, and Meryl Streep and Woody Harrelson, and I'm really excited. We're shooting in Minnesota, so that'll be fun.
Lindsay performed her character songs for A Prairie Home Companion, which was Robert Altman's final film. When he died, Lohan wrote a tribute on her BlackBerry and described him as the closest thing to my father and grandfather that I really do believe I've had in several years. The young actress wanted to work with other top directors. Her 2006 release, the drama Bobby, is written and directed by Emilio Estevez. It's about the assassination of Senator Robert F. Kennedy in 1968.
Emilio believed in the movie so much, and this has been his baby, something that he's, so proud of and really wanted to finish, and the guts for him to, get it all together, and it's a very touchy subject.
I remember the morning he was shot. I remember waking up my father and telling him the news and how my father wept. I remember the following year being in the Ambassador in 1969, and I was 7 years old, and my father, held me by the hand and walked me through the lobby and said, "This is it. This is where it happened."
Bobby focuses on the people at the Ambassador Hotel the night Kennedy was killed. Lohan plays Diane.
She's marrying her boyfriend's brother to keep him from going to war, because she believes that if she can do something and save a life, as more and more young men keep getting pulled to the front lines and killed every day, and people that she knows from school are coming home in body bags, then why not do that and save a life? And You know, she's standing for what she believes in.
I started to do the research, discovered that there were 5 other people shot. Discovered about the first time, this was the first time they used the electronic voting machines in Los Angeles County. Andy Warhol was shot the day before. So all of this history, Don Drysdale with the shutout, and it was a matter of putting all these factoids into the mouths and into the sentiment of the characters.
Actual footage of Bobby Kennedy is used in the movie, which was filmed at the Ambassador Hotel. Lohan and her co-stars were nominated for a Screen Actors Guild Award for Outstanding Performance by a Cast in a Motion Picture.
She's in an all-star cast there, and she got critical praise for her role in that, which was a toned-down Lindsay Lohan and a low-key one that we hadn't quite seen before.
After Bobby's release, Lohan's personal life hit a low point. She admitted to attending Alcoholics Anonymous meetings. In January 2007, she had an appendectomy, and 2 weeks later, she made headlines when she checked herself into rehab. Her next releases include Chapter 27, a film about the murder of John Lennon, and Georgia Rule, directed by Gary Marshall. Georgia Rule, about 3 generations of women, co-stars Jane Fonda.
Felicity Huffman plays my mother. Jane Fonda plays my grandmother, Georgia. Hence, Georgia Rule is the title. She gets out of her mother's car while walking and walks God knows how many miles to her grandmother's house because she's being sent to live with her grandmother for the summer for the things that she's done wrong. I don't apologize for anything.
Okay.
Well, are you gonna invite me in?
No.
Georgia Rule co-star Jane Fonda praised Lohan.
She has an ability to access her emotions that's very beautiful. She's made me cry several times when I'm giving her the off-stage lines, and she's made me cry. She's very moving.
All was not sunshine and roses on the set of Georgia Rule. During filming, Lohan made news when a studio executive wrote a scathing letter reprimanding her for showing up late and holding up production.
The fact that she continued to reportedly misbehave on the set or show up late or whatever really was irritating these studio bosses because they'd read the tabloids too, they'd read this stuff, and you know, the movie's on the line. If you're not professional, if you're not showing up on time, if they have to cancel days shooting or shoot around her, this is costing them money. I know that Jane Fonda has said she never misbehaved with her when she was in a scene with her, and Jane Fonda went on the Today Show, I believe, and defended her and said that, you know, this is an actress that's going places.
Just 2 weeks after the release of Georgia Rule, Lindsay was arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence. 2 months later, she was arrested again, just days before the release of her next film, a mystery thriller, I Know Who Killed Me. She spent a total of 84 minutes in jail, and she couldn't promote her film. But Lindsay was serious about the movie, I Know Who Killed Me, about a high school student who was abducted.
I'm sorry, Mr. Norquist. I know I should have this by now. I'm just...
You've been distracted lately, Aubrey. The next Young Artist competition is less than a month away.
I know. I think the storyline, just the, you know, the Silence of the Lamb aspect for my generation. And it's not too often that people my age that I've noticed come across a really great psychological thriller. I think I'm really lucky to be able to be in this movie.
I Know Who Killed Me died at the box office. Lindsay underwent a series of legal woes. Then in 2010, she made a thriller written and directed by Robert Rodriguez, Machete. As Lindsay Lohan's career progresses, her behavior both on and off screen will determine her future.
The media wants to write about Lindsay Lohan because she is that party girl image. If you're famous for being famous, that ain't a career.
It depends on what I get and the material and everything, but I'd love to do different things, so we'll see.
Thank you for watching this Lindsay Lohan edition of Movie Star. Join us next time for another inside look at your favorite stars of the big screen.
Grauman's Chinese Theater serves as the location for more than 170 hand and footprints. Here's a look at the dramatic actors who have placed their